Hey everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Weedle, episode 3. This is the musical edition. You should have just heard our new jingle, so let us know if that was good or if we're just terribly offbeat.
Bump it or dump it.
I'm Oliver. This is my co-host Shug. Do you have anything to share this week?
Not much. I got a PSA sub back. I don't know where it went. I had it here a little bit ago. Where did it go?
I believe you.
I don't know where it went. I was gonna show a card, but
Is it in the room with you right now?
Yeah, I just don't know where it went. It literally was on my desk. Anyways, yeah, and then I picked up these. I don't know. Japan does like a lot of snacks with Pokemon and different food items, and then they'll put like little sticker cards in there, and usually
Right.
it's like randomized and stuff, and so you get like a little cool hit out of the packs. But I picked up a few of these curry cards. They're little packs of curry, and they come with these sticker cards that I thought were pretty cool.
Ooh.
So I got this one. I like a lot.
Hey,
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
I like that one.
And then it's got some trainers. And then lastly, the Captain Pikachu.
Nice. That's got to be
Yeah,
like the quote-unquote chase.
I think so. I think there's two different versions of this. There's one that's like more full art, just one of him on there. And they're actually, I found out about these because I don't know if you know Dark Eye. I think was it? No, it wasn't Dark Ibex. It was somebody else. But they were talking about how this is like $2 or $1.50 in the store for the curry pack. It's like a single meal for like a kid to eat. But people are grading these now with PSA, and in a 10, they're selling them for around $100 online.
Get
It's
out of here.
it's ridiculous. It's crazy. So I was like, I got to see what these things are about. Um, and they're cool, but I'm like, that's so wild that they're selling them for that much. But
Who's
yeah,
buying that?
I I don't know. I have no idea. I thought it was interesting. I was like, that's crazy. I had to look it up, and I was like, sure enough, they're going for about that. Some of them a little bit less, but yeah, it was it's never ceases to amaze me what people buy in this hobby.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
about
that's
you?
sad. That's sad. I don't have that much to share. I wanted to show this Numal. I was going through some bulk yesterday for a friend looking for Yukamori cards, and this guy's got a pretty wicked ink hickey on the back.
Oh, whoa.
And it's gonna be kind of hard to see on the webcam here, but yeah, that's my largest ink hickey I own by a lot.
Yeah, I've never seen one that big. That's crazy.
And I believe I've had this since 2003. So a little mad at myself. It's just sitting in my bulk for 20 something years. But yeah, glad I recovered that. And then the other thing I got this week is the Mega Latias
Ooh,
Lenticular Jumbo.
so cool.
So I didn't buy the box. A friend gave this to me because he was so upset with this card.
What?
It doesn't really move. Look at that.
The front of it moves though, right?
So this
The
little
Pokemon doesn't.
graphic here
Yeah.
moves maybe a centimeter and a half, and then Latias does move just
Yeah.
slightly.
Yeah. It looks really cool to me.
Its
But how do you
pose
feel about it?
doesn't change. Well, I've got the Charizard they put out earlier this year,
Okay.
and he actually changes poses. Like he goes from like down into like a roar,
Hmm.
and this is like it's just a slight shift. Um,
Yeah.
but these graphics, they feel like they're really in the foreground. And then
Yeah.
like back here, it feels like Latias is really far back. So even though it doesn't have that big shift, I would say it has uh, a
Got more depth.
stronger sense of depth.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what it stood out to me at first. I was like, whoa, it's tripping my eyes out seeing it.
yeah, and that's that's not in person. In person, it's like you can't look at it for too long. I'm not kidding. It's tough to look at.
You go
But yeah, so
cross-eyed.
we're getting the Kang is coming out soon, and then yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they keep going with these lenticulars. I think they're cool. They are incredibly unpopular. So
Very cool. Yeah, I think
I
I could
guess
see
we'll see.
those being if they don't, I mean, I could see them being something in the future too, like people going back to them because they're just unique.
Yeah.
Not anything crazy, but I could just see people being like, "Oh, those were cool. Remember those lenticulars?" I don't know.
Yeah. There are there are 3 jumbo lenticulars that exist. There's a Snivy, a Zorua, and someone else.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they have like a pattern on them that's lenticular. It's not quite like the Latias or the Charizard.
Okay. But they're jumbos, you said?
Yeah. I've got one right here. It's a Snivy. And
yeah.
so it's a little bit different. I'd almost call it like a reverse hollow lenticular.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see how, because this pattern in the background has depth, it feels like the text up front and then the illustration are in the foreground.
Yeah, it does. What did this come out in? It's yellow bordered, so I'm assuming it's before Scarlet Violet, right?
It says 2011. Yeah, this is definitely black and white
Okay.
artwork.
Okay.
This is probably early black and white.
Okay. I had no idea these existed.
Yeah, there's only 3 Snivy, Zorua, and man, maybe Tepig?
Okay.
Or perhaps there's 4? I don't know anymore. It is the old style jumbo though, so it's quite a bit bigger than
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's quite a bit. If I do, you can probably tell if I do this. It's quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, it is.
But
I have one
anyways,
jumbo car. I wonder how that compares to.
you have only one jumbo?
Yeah. Let me get it. It's right here. It happens to be right here. It's Japanese.
Is it a Koro Koro?
Yeah.
Nice. I don't have that one. That one's so cool. That's
Yeah,
actually
I don't know where I got this,
Charizard in the foreground of that too, which is hard to tell.
Oh, I didn't. It is. Holy shit! I didn't even notice that. Yeah, right there in the corner, huh?
Not a great.
It looks like the flame.
Yeah, it really blends in. I'm
I
thinking
didn't
it
even
probably
notice that.
looked different in the original version of that, and then once it made it to print, it probably like blended in and got cropped and stuff.
Yeah, that's I. Thanks for letting me know.
There you go, buddy. You got a jumbo Charizard.
All right, should we get into? We have a lot of TCG news this
Yeah,
week, so I think
yeah.
we
I
should.
didn't mean to go down my jumbo rabbit hole.
No, yeah, I got excited too. So we'll get into the TCG news. A lot of stuff in this week that happened that we want to go over and cover. So Legends ZA, or as people are calling it, Pokemon ZA, is came out last Friday. I was super excited and wanted to talk about it last week, but there was too many spoilers, you said. So that was good that you were like, hey, we shouldn't spoil things for others. So can talk about it now. I picked up the game and I started playing kind of yesterday, and I'm pretty much through the most of the intro of the game where you're kind of following around and like learning how to play. It's my least favorite part of games where you can't go and explore. And I keep trying to go other places, and they're like, "Hey, come over here." They're like, stop me from going out in the world. But I'm liking it so far. Have you picked it up or?
No. So I think this year I was gonna play Black and White because I haven't played a Pokemon game since Diamond and Pearl.
Okay.
So
I
I'm
actually
gonna.
never played Black and White.
Everyone says it's like the best one, which seems
That's
horribly wrong to me, but I have to play it. But yeah, I have watched a lot of RC's gameplay. Looks phenomenal, and yeah, I'm excited to eventually get my hands on this game. It looks all right.
Have you ever thought about streaming it, like on your members only videos on your main channel?
Probably do it in like my Discord or
Oh,
something,
okay.
just super casual.
I thought about maybe doing this for my channel as like I don't know, start streaming it for members, but you need like a whole setup and I don't have it, so probably won't right away.
I'd
But
watch that.
yeah, so far I'm happy with the game. I'm enjoying it. Some people aren't though, and I have some I don't know if you've heard any of this feedback online, but a lot of people are complaining about the graphics of the game and how like the buildings you can't go into most of the buildings. It's like a JPEG or PNG image that's just kind of plastered onto the wall,
Aw.
which it does look bad. But I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it and see what you thought. For me, Pokemon games, I don't really play them for the graphics. So I don't mind it really, but I can see what people are talking about.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm a little more harsh on the subject. It's 2025. You know, there's lots of the indie developers on Steam of like 2 to 3 people who are producing beautiful games. From what I understand, the Switch 2 is capable of nice graphics.
It's got the
Um,
NVIDIA. It's got like a custom or like a new NVIDIA's graphics card in the Switch too. So
I fully agree that a lot of people aren't playing Pokemon for the graphics.
mhm.
Uh, but I also think that the graphics should be good.
Yeah, yeah, I could see
Scarlet
both
and
points.
Violet
Yeah.
was bad. Scarlet and Violet, I saw a few screenshots. I know they're cherry picked. I probably saw it from the worst angles, but it looked like PlayStation 1 prototypes. That hurt me.
PlayStation. Yeah, that's bad. It looked like that Charizard on that jumbo card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even play Scarlet and Violet. I tried a few times, and I think I got through the first, like, 2 or 3 gyms, and I just put it down. I never could continue with it, and it wasn't necessarily the graphics, but just the game in general was not doing it for me. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. There's that, and then these are the new megas. So I wanted to get your
Okay.
thoughts on the new megas so far. There's gonna be more. They have DLC that's coming out February 28th on the anniversary of Pokemon Day, but this is what's out in the game right now, and I kind of wanted to see what your favorite one is.
Okay. I've seen some of these. What is up with Skarmory? That looks like a normal Skarmory to me.
It's just gold, right?
Okay. Okay.
I don't, I
Well,
don't I don't
hey,
think there's anything different. I don't know.
I like gold Skarmory. That's cool. I also I can't believe I'm saying this, but I like Chandelure, I guess.
Chandeler's cool.
I've seen some critiques online saying that like Chandelure's mega is disgusting, offensive. I
Offensive.
guess I
Wow.
guess some people really like Chandelure and just really couldn't stomach the idea of it basically being a larger chandelier. I think Dragonite's okay. Feraligator's really cool with his little hood down.
Oh, you
Um,
like for alligator? Okay.
I don't like him with the hood up.
Yeah. With okay.
The
Yeah. With the
when
hood
he
down,
looks
it's
like
way
a
better for sure. He looks like
Meganium,
a what is it? The Duralagon, or doesn't he kind of look like? Am I thinking of the right Pokemon?
Duraludon. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Duraludon. Yeah, that's what he reminds me of right now with this red. But maybe I don't know, a little different. But yeah,
I'm gonna say Victory Bell is my favorite.
that's crazy. I was gonna say the same thing. A lot of people are hating on Victory Bell, but I think it's perfect for the design of the Pokemon. I was so happy when I saw. I think it's one of the best for sure. I'm surprised that you said. I'm kind of surprised, but I just yeah, so many people are hating on it online saying it's terrible, but I
No,
really like it.
I think it's good. We need more Pokemon with a noose around their neck.
That's funny.
um, but yeah, I Victory Bell and maybe Skarmory just because it looks like it is the same.
Yeah, and then what is this? The Firefox, is that Braxton? Is that the name of the
Delphox?
Delphox? Yeah, I like that too. Like it has these fire broomsticks. I think we're gonna see some cool artworks out of that.
So it has multiple fire broomsticks?
It's not a good image, but I think they're floating
Okay,
next to it. The two on top, it's like riding on the bottom one, and then the other two are floating next to it. Which I don't know
okay.
if it's like propelling those for attacks or whatever, but it looks really cool.
Is that Pyroar right above Delphox?
Uh, no, right here at the yeah,
That's
two above.
Pyroar. No,
Yeah,
no, okay, who's the pig guy?
I can't remember the names. Tepig's at Final Evolution though.
Tepig's big bro there. He looks cool. He kind of looks like some Japanese samurai guard
Yeah, he did.
kind of
That looks
guy.
pretty cool.
What is the thing to the left of Meganium?
Floette.
Okay,
Floette. I think
I'm
it's
having
Floette.
trouble. That just looks like shapes to me.
Yeah, it's not the best picture. I was trying to find one with all of them in the same, and this was the best I could do in one image. For some reason, nobody's put together a better image, but yeah, I'm a fan of Scrafty too. I like the Scrafty with
Not
the
bad.
white hood and stuff. Yeah.
Not bad.
There was some memes about it in the people have been strong with the memes, but yeah. Uh, anyway, moving on. This is the next one, which I I just want to play. There's not gonna be any sound, but have you seen this?
No.
This is the worst Mega Evolution in my opinion. Look at how Starmie is running around.
Oh man.
It's terrifying. But I'm just like, what what are they doing? They just made its legs longer. Um, yeah, I thought it was funny.
Wow. Yeah, I think everyone agrees that's the bad one, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that
I
takes the cake for worst.
I saw some really good fan designs for Mega Starmie, and I'm wondering if that's why we didn't get those, you know?
Yeah, I've seen that in the past where you like there's some good like fan art of what could have been, and you're wondering like did Pokemon just like um decide like, hey, we're not going to do that because this I don't know, it might look like we stole it, or we just don't want to give somebody the credit for it. Do you remember in Pokemon Go recently when they found out the Ho-Oh and the Lugia got there was fan art like copied trace one
Pocket.
for one or
Yeah,
Pokemon Pocket? Yeah,
yeah,
and they had to retake the images back and change them.
yeah.
They maybe that's what they don't want to run into. I don't know.
That's the vibe
Um,
I'm getting because, like, no one like, I remember I think this leaked and everyone was like, "No, no."
it's so non-creative just to make the legs longer. I don't know. They could have.
Yeah,
I feel like people were even saying, "Oh, watch, they're just gonna add another star because Star U goes to Star Me, and it looks like another star is added behind it."
yeah,
And I would have been fine. I would have been that happier with that, honestly.
yeah.
Um, but anyways, and then this is the new DLC that's coming out in February. This is all we know of it. It's gonna have Hoopa opening a portal or dimension to the new Mega Dimension, I guess. Um, but yeah, you got Raichu X and Raichu Y, so that'll be fun and exciting, something to look forward to. Gotta move on here. I think we're already 17 minutes in. Briefly, there's no images for this, but did you see this at all?
Yeah, personally, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm excited about this.
I have a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't collect it like I do Pokemon, but when I saw this news, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't really put two and two together and realize that there's no full art cards or over frame Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They've been stuck in that little tiny box for 25, 30 years or whatever it's been. And it just kind of blew my mind that they were like one of the top TCGs and haven't been there yet. And just it'll be cool to see for people that enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh and see what it does for the card game going forward. But yeah,
And
there's no images
they don't
yet.
say full art, they say over frame. So we
Yeah.
don't know if that means like gold stars where like they're peeking out of the box or what. So I'm so excited to see what this turns into.
Yeah, I think even if it's the over the frame cards and not full arts, they might eventually get there, you know? I would assume that eventually they have to get to a full art kind of version. Maybe not though.
No, I agree. I think I'll be picking up a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh when this comes out.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll get excited and get back into it. More money down the drain, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yay.
um I thought this was a good post. These are the top 10 most graded cards in the last week. It's by Gempire Cards, but the data is from GemRate. If you're familiar with GemRate, they kind of put out the numbers for the grading companies every week or every month to kind of give you an idea of what's being graded. So I thought it was just a good thing to go for people to look at to see what people are grading. A lot of modern cards. I think they're pretty much all modern. The Van Gogh Pikachu still grading a little under 1,000 last week were
Crazy.
graded.
Crazy.
Total pop of 94,000 and then a total PSA 10 population of 43,000. Lily's number 9 from the Mega Evolution 1 Japanese set. Um,
Can I just say
yeah,
if there is a bubble in Pokemon, it's the Van Gogh Pikachu. Like that's
yeah,
the single card I would not buy right now. There's
great
just
example.
so many and the price just keeps climbing.
Yeah, I think it's retraced a bit, but yeah, it's like 2000 or something around there, give or take a couple hundred, and it's just crazy from what it was. Number one, I think, is a good example too. We'll get to it really quickly. I don't want to take too long on this,
I
but
think I know.
you probably know. Yeah, the Illustrator Contest Pikachu, great artwork. Um, yeah, all these are about 1,000, a little over 1,000 graded per week. The oldest
Wow.
card I think in this is this 2019 the Black Star promo, the stained glass birds, which is a great card, but that was like a promo, right, in English?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's about 30,000 PSA 10s in the PSA pop reports, 51,000 total. But the people are still grading 1,000 of these a week.
There's a low PSA 10 rate for that Pikachu there. There's only 593.
Yeah, that's something I think I don't know if I have a tab for it, but I think you put it in one of the
Oh,
topics you want to
yes,
discuss
yes,
about
yes.
celebration cards
We'll
and
touch on
them
that
going
later.
up. A lot of people were just saying because this was like a common pool, you'd pool this every other pack almost, this Pikachu, but and it's gone up in price lately because of the 30th anniversary coming up. But people are kind of counter arguing, saying, well, it's because the gem rate is so low, like you just said, and that's why it's worth what it is now. But yeah, number one is kind of the reason I wanted to share this post.
15,000.
15,000 were graded last week. The Burger Chew, the McDonald's card that came
Wow.
out like 2 months ago, that everybody was going crazy for. Do you see the PSA 10 pop on this? 58,000.
Wow.
I think it's above 60,000 now. And I watch a lot of Japanese PokeTubers. They were saying that the cards that have come back are all cards for the expedited tier because PSA is at like a 2.5 to 3 month bulk tier wait time. So those cards haven't even come back yet. So anybody that submitted the Burger
Dude,
Chew to bulk, they haven't even hit the population report. So they're saying this card is going to probably be over 100,000 PSA 10 card population.
that's a great point.
It's it's crazy to think about like how this is just from what all the news about this and how the campaign was supposed to last 3 days. It got shut down in a day because people were raiding the McDonald's in Japan, flying in from different countries to get these. The price of the packs has gone crazy. People were leaving food outside, and um, it's kind of been reflected in the prices of this card and how it was crazy high and it's starting to go down. I don't know if you've been following it at all. I've been following it just because I think it's interesting. It's something I didn't really care for the card too much. Um,
Yeah, I like it. I'm actually one of my favorite collections are the McDonald's cards. I'm slowly
oh, okay.
collecting them all, and so when this came out, I was like, "Nice, I have to have these for my McDonald's binder." But then all that stuff happened, and I stepped away from it out of, just kinda like embarrassment for the hobby. And now here we are a couple months later. I still don't have them, and prices are climbing, and I think I'm probably just gonna skip these.
Really? Oh,
I
skip them all
also
together.
don't even know what the other cards are. Like, that's how big this Pikachu is.
It's not even the rarest ones. The other this is one you get in every pack too. You get two cards, and this one you get in every pack. The other ones are technically rarer. Um,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
but there's a Riolu, a Routes, and then two other I can't remember the other cards, but um yeah, this is just another post showing the prices of them, but in tens in different grading companies. Did we show the Black Label price a couple weeks ago of this
I don't
card?
think we did, no.
Do you know what it was?
I
It was like
can't rem
20,000 it went for, and now it's a $4,000 Black Label. There's 44 in the pop. So L to the $20,000 buyer, but it's just wild to see. And like you said with the Van Gogh, it's like this is definitely another sign of a bubble, in my opinion, and where we are and how volatile like cards are and the market is right now.
Yeah, that guy paid all that money for a different colored label.
Yeah,
Think
and
about that.
and if he waited a little bit, he could have got it for 4 grand instead of 20 grand. I mean, honestly, it's not worth 4 grand in my opinion as a Black Label,
No, no.
not even close. But I like the $55 price tag for it. The CGC regular 10 and a 55. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you know, I could even see I do like I like the Pristine 10 label from CGC.
Yeah.
I think they did a fantastic job designing that. 108's a little high, but I do really like Pristines. I
Yeah.
think it
I was
really
a hater on this
Oh, yeah.
when they changed their labels. I was
I
like,
was
oh,
too.
I was online saying, oh, it's a money grab and blah 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 blah. I was with the crowds like this is stupid, but now I'm totally a fan. I have some of these CGC labels, so I've changed my mind.
Yeah, if that came down to, like, $50, I'd probably grab one.
Yeah, and I think it will. I think we'll see it for sure, especially when all this bulk hits. It'll be fun to watch. This is something
W
you put in, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at a $2,000 sale for PSA 10 Charizard. This is the Japanese version. And the seller is Weedle's Warehouse, which I'm just noticing right now. So shout out for another Weedle homie out there.
I actually know
Um,
who this guy is.
oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah, he's been in the hobby. We came in the hobby like the same time in 2019, and we're in like a similar Discord. He's a great guy.
okay, cool. Yeah, this is big. A lot of So we talked last week about the fool's theory, which is speculators selling to other speculators and actual collectors not actually buying cards. And I think there's probably a pretty good degree of that here. Um, I'm seeing a lot of discussion online about Phantasmal Flames, and I don't even think we know the cards in this set yet, outside of seeing the out of outside of seeing Inferno X, and then some leaks. But like people are just saying, buy this set. It's a Charizard set. This set's going to go to the moon. You have to keep this one sealed, et cetera, et cetera. There's just so much hype behind this set. Um, that
Yeah,
$2,000 for the Japanese copy of this card.
yeah. People on Japanese YouTubers are kind of saying the same thing. They're like, this is. I don't think it's ever been a thing with any card in the Japanese set being that high priced for a new set. I
Right.
don't know if I can't remember if the Moonbryon was comparable or not in EV Heroes when it came out in Japanese, but
It probably is now. I doubt
aside
it.
from that, like they're like this has never been this way before with Japanese cards. They're all about like what you're saying. This is just new territory, kind of.
Yeah. You probably know better than I do, but I believe Japanese chase cards, they're like upwards of like $250 USD.
Yeah, the last Terrassel Festival, the last Moonbryon, the Sumbryon, shout out Jason Page. He they when they first came out, I was buying them for like 180 to 240 ish, and that was a big card. I think it did go up a little bit a couple weeks after, but it didn't go up too much more. So that was like the top, 5% of cards maybe do that ever in Japanese.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
this
great
broke the
card.
mold. It is. It
Some
is.
people are saying it's like the best Charizard ever. What do you think about that? Like art wise, they're saying it's the best.
Um,
I
yeah,
agree.
if I remove my bias for like vintage nostalgia, um, I really like the VMAX from the Charizard UPC a while back. Um,
Which one was that?
it's that one where Charizard, it's like drawn really badass, almost like
Like
it kind of
Godzilla.
belongs to like Magic the Gathering or something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That one we didn't get in Japanese, I don't think. I think that was an
Right,
English exclusive.
right.
But
But I would say that the like contrast of this one, like the blue and the red and the depth,
yeah.
I kind of want to say yes. Removing my personal bias, this is not my favorite Charizard, but just looking at it, yeah, I think it's probably pretty close, if not the coolest Charizard.
I think that yeah, the artist did a really good job, like you said. The colors, the contrast, there's a lot of detail and depth, and they fit a lot in for that size, of a whatever
In a nice way.
canvas. Yeah, it all flows really good. Somebody else pointed out too that um I think they showed the English version of this card now. It's been kind
Yeah.
of revealed, and they were saying the Japanese is kind of better because the English has so much text here, it covers the Charmander. So if you're just
Oh,
like
is that
looking for
right?
a card, yeah, if you're looking for a card like just to have visually appealing, it kind of some English collectors were saying it kind of ruined it that the face of the Charmander is covered by the English text. Um,
Okay, cool. I'm
yeah.
gonna go drop 2 grand on this then.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild to see the prices in English, right? Did we see any yet? Like leaked ones? Or those are the promos?
The promos, I think.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, so we've got this as well, the other Charizard from Inferno X. This is the new gold card selling for, and I just checked, they are going 800 and up right now.
that's yeah, last one. There's 5 sold already on this seller's listing.
So once again, basically everything we just said, this is unprecedented. This is new territory for Japanese TCG. Cards generally don't get this expensive, so pretty crazy. That Charizard we just looked at was PSA 10, and this is raw selling for 800.
Yeah.
So, I unfortunately this is not a good signal for the English market. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, rip to the English market. Yeah, this card too. I think the SAR, the one we were looking at previously, that one actually passed in raw value. It passed this card too, even though this
Okay,
one is rarer and harder to pull. I think people are just hyped up on the artwork of the other one more. So
that's
that one
fair.
just kind of barely passed it. I don't know how it is now, but about like 4 or 5 days ago, I saw prices and it looked like it took over. A little bit more promos that are not supposed to be out there are out there. This guy has 10 of them or something. And the title of the post is kind of a good point. Said, wouldn't be surprised if some of the Charizard UPCs are missing promo cards. Well,
I didn't get
hopefully,
my Ed
hopefully
Hardy
not.
Charizard.
Yeah, that's a perfect name for it, Ed Hardy card.
Ooh, disappointing again.
Yeah. This was a big sale. I had no idea what this was. I had to do some research because I was wondering, like a lot of people were in the post that I'd seen this on, why versus Tropical Mega Battle German language went for 75,000 for some half deck. It says it's 30 cards. Sorry if the picture is not the greatest, but yeah, it went for 75,000. This is a good article if people want to look up Pokemon.com. I don't know if you're familiar with this website at all.
Mhm.
Um, but it kind of gives you a history lesson on what the Tropical Mega Battle is. Do you want to let the people know?
Yeah, Tropical Mega Battle, basically the world tournament before the world tournament was a thing. Um, Fairly exclusive. It's not like today where, it's a huge event. It was, I
Yeah.
believe it was invite only even
Yeah.
back then. And it was, yeah, very small. And so some of the biggest promos in the hobby come from these events.
Yeah, for real. I didn't know it was this small, like until I started doing this research, but apparently they're saying there was one player from Germany, and there was multiple copies of this deck. I think 1 or 2 year, maybe 2 or 3 years it was given out. And there's some small variations in it, but there's supposedly 3 copies of the German deck, and it's population 1 right now. All those cards in that sale were PSA 10s. Sorry, this isn't any better. I don't think of a picture, but yeah, it's just
That's
a
crazy.
cool, unique item that yeah, some people were like knew exactly what it was in the comments, but the majority of people didn't know. But the people that did know were like, "Oh, what a steal! Like this could have been went for more if people knew what it was," which I kind of agree now that I know what it is with how the market is. But yeah, cool when you find like new things. I don't know how I'm still finding new things. I think I've found everything or I deep dived on everything vintage, and then I'll find something like this where I was like, I had no clue. I like that I can still learn stuff, that I didn't know before.
I also didn't know about this. It's very neat.
There's actually an error in this too. This deck, the manatee in the deck right here. The English version has a resistance to psychic, and it's supposed to have a resistance to fighting type, I guess. So they realized in round one when the deck was being used that the players didn't have the same resistance on their. They're like, oh, after round one, they're like, this is a problem, and then they fixed it the next year in 2002. But yeah. This is the Chinese set I think you had linked, right?
Right. Okay. Sorry, that took me a moment. Yeah, so China's just going crazy with their Pokemon cards. They're behind. So if you're not familiar, China didn't have Pokemon cards for a long time. And then they did have Pokemon cards. And instead of just jumping in where we are, they decided they would just produce these giant catch up sets. So they did the entire Sun and Moon era in like just a few sets. So you had these like massive products coming out. Anyways, they're still in the Scarlet and Violet era, which means we're seeing like Roaring Moon EX here. We're seeing the older gold cards. But the big news here is 2 more exclusives. So this guy, this is a Pokemon I'm seeing for the first time right now. No idea who that is.
Iron Hands.
Iron Hands. Okay.
Yeah. It's the
And
Hariyama like future version, right? The
okay,
paradox
hey,
form or whatever.
neat. That's kind of neat. So this will be, yeah, a Chinese exclusive. So they tend to, sell for a little more. They're a little more desirable. And then I don't know the name of this one either.
Red Book. I don't know.
Red. We'll call it Red Book. Another Chinese exclusive. So nothing crazy.
Yeah, I think like you said, they're doing a lot here. I think these are more examples of cards that are exclusive to the Chinese language that came out already. So these are stuff you can already pick up if you get. I don't know what sets they're from, but they're just Chinese exclusive sets. Really cool RK9. What do you think about the mouse hold?
I think everyone likes this one. It's a neat card.
Yeah, it's super colorful and playful. I like the style. Yeah, I think this is the best way because of how established English cards and Japanese cards are with like their collectability and value and things that attract people to collect them. This is the only way almost you could create organic demand for collectors in China to want to collect the Chinese cards is by having exclusive cards. And I think I've even seen people go to the extent where it's kind of like English collectors and Japanese collectors are now trying to get these cards because they're so cool looking. They have these promo packs too, I guess, that are coming out. They were saying, but whoops, I'm off. Where am I? And this is. Do you see this is coming out in there?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a great opportunity to pick up some of these cards for a huge discount.
Yeah, this was a English exclusive. We didn't have this in Japanese. I think this is the one we didn't have in Japanese. Is this the promo in English?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Was it
The
this
other,
and the Kingdra were both English
yeah,
exclusive, although they are available in Chinese?
yeah.
Or I
So
think
now, yeah, this one's coming out in Chinese. So it's a chance for, I guess, people to grab this card, like you said, cheaper because it's not just in English. Maybe it'll make the English card come down. I kind of doubt it, but who knows? I wish we had it in Japanese. That's for sure. It's a very Japanese style art too, similar to the Kingdra.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really cool that I think China's doing this, and I kind of hope they do this with more with other languages too, like the Latin American Spanish language that they just introduced. Was it last year or beginning of this year? I like a Halucha card would be really cool, like
Yeah.
or a Luchador Poncho Pikachu would be a fun card. But yeah, I think it's really cool language exclusives. Anything else for that you wanted to talk about? Pal Pad, that's what it's called. It's a Pal Pad.
Ah, okay. So not book.
Not Red Book.
Yeah, no, we can move on. I just wanted to
Okay.
highlight those 2 new exclusives. And
Yeah.
then this next one is basically, if you've been in the hobby for a while, you're probably familiar with Probstein, even just the name. Big seller on eBay. Actually work with eBay. So too long didn't read for this article is this guy's leaving eBay. He's started his own platform he's calling Snipe. We're supposed to see it next month. And he's basically teasing us with much lower fees than eBay, extended bidding, and I think the other feature was a live chat on the auction pages. So
Oh, interesting.
yet another auction platform um, specifically positioned to compete with eBay. They have some other perks, like if you buy multiple things, you can actually get them bundled together and then shipped to you at a later date, which is neat. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. With the volume right now, the amount of cards being sold, I kind of have no doubts that this is going to be a success. I think with the people behind it and the funding behind it, it's going to be hard to fail. So that's just my guess. I think we're going to have a new player in the auction platform game. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out, I guess, because eBay's fees are high.
Yeah, I didn't. That's crazy. That's a lot lower. Do you see this? It says eBay's 13.25%, but he's dropped them from 5% to 3%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's extremely. That's gonna bring a lot of people in.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Sellers and
imagine that's
buyers, I would imagine, because the cards are gonna be maybe cheaper if the seller's not having to pay as much of a fee to sell them.
yeah.
Which is good if it could be successful. I mean, competition, breeds innovation, and it's better for the buyer. I feel like in the long term, if you have a lot of competition for sellers, between sellers, because they're trying to. It's like that race to the bottom when you have a really mass produced card and people list it on eBay. Everybody's trying to sell it. They don't want to get stuck with the bag. So it turns in favor of the buyer sometimes. So that's really cool. Did it say
I
when it was gonna go
I
into
think you
effect?
said no. I think November.
Oh, okay. In November,
Yeah.
he will unveil Snipe an auction app. Cool. Really
Yeah.
cool.
I think probably a good thing. Excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah. I think that's it for TCG news. Do you want to get into our deep dive?
Let's deep dive on PSA.
uh, where am I? I'm on the wrong screen. Yeah. So, did you want me to introduce this, or do you want to
Sure.
talk about this?
Sure. You can take it.
So this is something that PSA kind of put out there, I think earlier this year or late last year, even maybe, that hinted that they were going to start doing this. But this is something called PSA offers, where it's a way to sell your cards. If for those of you who aren't familiar, if you send your cards to grading for PSA, there's an app where you can go online and kind of there's a pizza tracker almost where you can see the steps in grading that your card is at. And when it finishes grading, you get a notification saying you can check your grades, and you can kind of go through this screen where you flip the card with your finger and it reveals the grade of the card. Used to be where it would just kind of show you a value of that card and how much it's estimated to be valued at. But now they're having this where you can have an instant offer from somebody potentially wanting to buy it. There's third party buyers that are partnered with PSA or approved by PSA to put in offers for cards, and if somebody grades that card in a grade that they're looking for, you can just hit the button saying accept offer, and then your card never gets shipped back to you. It just gets shipped to that person instead. And I've heard it's like 1 to 2 days maybe to get paid out. But yeah, this is just another, I guess, efficiency or in transactions between buyers and sellers, making things quicker. And I'm guessing PSA gets a percentage maybe of the for commissioning the deal or um, brokeraging the deal between the seller and the buyer. Have you used this at all? Do you grade with PSA or no?
I don't. I'm Canadian, so they make it really difficult for us. It might be worth mentioning just this week, they did open a Canadian PSA submission center. All that means is that I don't really know what it means. I have graded with PSA in the past. I've shipped my cards directly to PSA. There was already a Canadian grading center in Halifax. They're now opening one in Toronto. So that's, you know, kind of offensive to everyone mid to the west in Canada, because if you're
Yeah.
not familiar with Canada's geography, Halifax is here, Toronto's here, and then I'm over here. So it's like, yay, second location, still, almost
Far
equal
away.
distance as the US PSA. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really understand why PSA hates Canada so much. But yeah, stuff like this can definitely, I guess, help. Personally, I want my cards back after I get them graded. But if you don't, then this could be good.
I remember because I was in a Discord of a lot of people that are into like flipping cards and making money. Dan Kitchmall Collectibles is in there, people like that. But some of the people were like, "Oh, I'm all about it. I don't want to see them. I just, they just wanted to make the money." And others are like, "Oh, I love the process of getting these cards back and seeing them and holding them and then listing them on eBay myself. They don't want to they enjoy the process of doing that." So there was some mixed, reactions when it was first announced. Some people I think had an issue with this, thinking that this buyback program was the PSA offers was PSA directly buying the card, and they thought that was too much of a conflict of interest. And we'll get into it a little bit more because there is a part that, from my understanding, that is a little bit conflicting in how they're doing some things that related with their power packs. I don't know if you know Boston Card Hunter. He's a sports guy. I watch a lot of sports card YouTube channels because I think they have a lot of experience and they've been, in a adjacent to Pokemon kind of similar hobby that they've been doing it a lot longer than a lot of us have. So they have a good viewpoint on things and maybe a better grasp of Pokemon or collecting card related things. But he was saying, you're not gonna be able to hear this, I don't think. Um, but he's pretty much talking about how Card Ladder is comping the Bubble Mew. It was at 600 based on comps from eBay and different platforms, selling platforms, and it got comped to 289 in less than 1 day based on PSA cards power pack sales. So PSA has these $1,000 power packs that they are partnered with GameStop, and you could buy. I think they're digital, and you get the card revealed, and it goes into the PSA vault if you want it. But it says here, right on a post on their Twitter or X account, saying that you can decide whether you keep the card, store it in the vault, or sell it through instant buyback via eBay or receive PSA offers. So PSA offers is the thing we just talked about, where third parties are buying it via eBay. I'm assuming is their PSA eBay store, because they do have one where you can consign cards with them or sell directly from the vault through them. And then instant buyback, to me, that sounds like PSA is buying it back themselves. I don't know what else it would be. But with the Card Ladder comping these buybacks for 289 and dropping a card from 600 to that, I do see that as a conflict of interest, and somewhat of a uh, I don't know, issue, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is I don't like this part of the hobby personally. But like you said, a lot of people they're into this, and I'm sure if
Mm.
you go into the comments, people are talking about crypto and let's get this on the blockchain, etc. And that's really how it feels to me. We're kind of turning these collectibles into crypto, and
Mm.
it's no secret that the crypto space is fairly corrupt. Um, and that's kind of, I think we're seeing early signals of that here.
Yeah, I think we briefly touched on some of these things with Whatnot, kind of related to this. It wasn't specifically about PSA, but how we have the Fanatics instant rips and then the mystery packs on Whatnot, and then you have these power packs by PSA and GameStop, and it's very gambly like. Not saying I disagree or don't think people should do it, but it's such a different evolved hobby from just going to the store and buying a pack. And I think sometimes I'm fed all this stuff, or I'm in this, my algorithm is, knows what I want to watch and this stuff interests me. But I'm wondering how many people are actually feel this way and see this stuff, or like are just not as tapped in as we are, as deep in the hobby as we are, and have no clue about this and are just collecting the same way that we used to collect back in the day and just casually buying packs at the store. Don't have any idea that you could buy a pack online, a power pack online. Do you think it's probably a significant amount of people like that, or most people are aware of these things?
I think there's a lot of crossover with crypto. I think if you have crypto in your algorithm, or if you're into like betting on sports games in your
Mm.
algorithm, you're more likely to get this. My algorithms on YouTube and Instagram do not show me this kind of thing.
Oh, really?
I don't know about any of this. I'm trying to fill slots in my binder. Like, that's it.
Wow.
So yeah, this is
I had no
I
idea. That's so I'm corrupt.
I'm not the target audience for this, apparently.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm also very like, I've never touched any kind of gambling ever, like outside of opening booster packs, of course. Um, but yeah, this is just like, this is a different world from my world.
Oh, that's good.
But
That's interesting.
I
I didn't
can't
know that
speak
you didn't
for
have like.
the hobby though.
Yeah, I guess I was just wondering, like, is it just my algorithm and me, or are most people seeing the same thing? But now that you said that, it's kind of good to know that that's not like something that everybody is. I'm not saying like too, to be clear, that I buy these things. I would never buy like $1,000. At least I haven't so far, and I don't think I have any interest to. Maybe one day, I'll be like sure, but I don't really have an interest to. I just find it interesting to keep track of how the hobby has changed and how it's evolving, and it's happening so fast. I feel like in the last even 5 years ago, when the first kind of boom happened, when a lot of people got back in, there was not so many, there wasn't like so many people doing rip and ships online. There was a few people that might have been, but it's just been it's been so evolved lately, and so it's moving so fast over the last 5 years, and it's changed so much that it could be overwhelming to come back in if you haven't been in for 10 years, to come back to all this and see like what is going on.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to go back and try and explain this to a Pokemon card collector. Like, this is, again, not my thing. I find this a little disappointing, but also if someone's really into this, I'm not against it. If the hobbies, if this is making the hobby enjoyable to other people, then I think that's cool. More people into Pokemon is cool. It's just not my cup of tea, and I feel pretty skeptical about it.
Yeah, it'll
And I
be
don't I don't like PSA expanding their reach. I really feel like over the past few years, I just keep seeing headlines about PSA's new,
service. Yeah.
mystery pack, or this service, or like digital this, and it's
Mhm.
just like, it's just fodder to me now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are uncomfortable with like how much market share they have. I think again, GemRate puts out how much they grade every month, and it was like 1.6 million cards graded by PSA. CGC has caught up. They were like 200,000 last month. They were like 500,000 this month. So I don't know what happened last month for CGC, but other than that, it's like Beckett's 70,000, SGC is 20,000 or something in the last month. So PSA has a huge percent of market share. And people already don't like that. But then, like you said, their services are expanding. We just talked about Whatnot a couple episodes ago, and how PSA is going to do like a mystery pack authentication service or something, where they make sure the mystery packs are packed fairly. So yeah, just expanding services and having a greater reach and grasp on controlling different aspects of, maybe not card directly, like it's adjacent like things that can affect the overall market price of cards or the market in general. So it is like a little uneasy feeling to know, like, to see this happening, and it's just more and more, like you said.
They're very aggressive too. They've partnered with GameStop, they've partnered with eBay, and
Mm,
these are companies or businesses that are in, like, they're on the ground with collectors, with people who are like maybe just stepping into Pokemon for the first time, you
mm,
know. Whereas PSA actually has this barrier where you don't start collecting and immediately send cards to PSA the same week, but you might go into GameStop that week, or you might be on eBay that week. So they've
Yeah.
really acquired these like consumer first businesses,
Mm.
which is it's a little scary. Like PSA's very big, but I've also kind of lost faith in a lot of the hobby because so many people have created a religion and really engaged in tribalism when it comes to different grading companies. Like, my grading company is better than your grading company. We see lots, like Reddit's a bad place for it, where people leave comments that say like, never grade with anyone other than X, Y, or Z, right? And that's just not the case. These are companies that put your card in a plastic case. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I find myself even doing it, like putting so much value on the plastic, and I have to remind myself to be like, that's not even the point of what's inside there. Like the card is what matters. And I find myself forgetting it sometimes and worrying too much about the plastic, but the majority of the value is in the card itself, honestly.
That's right. And we can hold and feel slabs and look at them. And there's some very strong arguments that different labels look better, but it is still kind of an intangible thing. The card is what you paid money for. That's what we love. That's what we appreciate. But sometimes it's like so much of the value comes from this third party company
Mhm.
putting a like arbitrary grade on it.
Yeah.
And it's a weird feeling. I have lots of graded cards. I have graded plenty of cards. I'm in it, but also it's kind of like bittersweet because uh I wish we could just all collect binders again.
Yeah. I wish I was a binder boy. I'm not. I've tried. I have several binders. I really like slabs for some reason.
Hey, me too. Like,
Yeah.
some of my favorite cards are in slabs. I've got like even something like this, which is so niche. This isn't worth anything to anyone. It's a Canadian Pokemon card that came out of a cereal box. I can't stress enough, no one cares about these, but I paid my money to have it put in a PSA slab, and I
Mhm.
like it like this. This is how I wanted this card. So, that I like it,
Yeah,
but
that's all that matters, yeah.
I don't know. It's icky. It's icky
Yeah.
sometimes.
I think too, like you said, just really quickly, before we wrap it up, you'd mentioned the arbitrariness. I don't know what the word is, but how it's so arbitrary, the grading. And I think a lot of new people I've seen in comments of videos about they assume some people they assume that all the grading companies are grading on the same scale, but they're definitely not. Every company has its own scale of what they consider to be a perfect card or a near perfect card, or what their one is considered to be. And so it's important to realize that it's like you said, arbitrary, and they're just making these things up. Whether people make it up, the company makes it up better than another company, is for you to like kind of decide and learn by buying slabs or looking at slabs of different companies and getting that experience with them. um, but yeah, I thought that was a good point that you pointed out, and it reminded me that some people are new and think that everybody grades on the same scale, but that's not the case.
That's
So,
right.
do we want to get into questions before we run out of time?
Yep. Yep. We got
Okay.
2 questions this week. We got 3 questions this week. You guys, if you want us to answer questions, you can leave them in the comments. So far, we're just going to answer every question. So
Yeah, three last week. I think we got three every week almost, right? Or did you say two?
I said 2, and then I corrected myself. We got 3.
Okay. Sorry, I was half listening. I'm trying to like multitask and click everything, but okay. I put them in. I'm just gonna go in this order that we have them in right here. Um, this one is from Jacob Rudy. He said, "Is there an appropriate way to haggle with card shop stands at conventions that doesn't make me seem like a jerk if I feel they are lowballing me with an offer?" I was a little confused by this question. I don't know if you want to answer it first. Maybe it'll clarify it for me a bit.
Yeah, I'll just talk about my experience. Um, I've been to card shows. I've also vended a few times. Um, but I'm also maybe not the best example because I'm not always there to make money. Um, but yeah, some vendors are just, I don't know what it is, but you'll go through and pretty much everyone's operating around market value, eBay last sold. In my area, pretty much everyone uses the collector app. And then you'll get to one table where their prices are just arbitrary. They're like way over market, or sometimes there's like under market, and it's just so confusing. And then you talk to the vendor and you'd be like, this guy, he's here to make money, might be a little off. I don't know what's going on here. There's a lot of factors. Um, but I wouldn't worry about how they perceive you if you make a lowball offer. You know, like, I mean, these are Pokemon card vendors we're talking about. you know, don't who cares what they think? You know, you need to look at the card. If they don't let you look at the card, walk away. You
Yeah.
should be able to pull it out of the sleeve and look at it, grade it based on what you see. These guys are going to say this is mint, this is lightly played. Look at it. If it's moderately played to you, then to you, it's moderately played. So make an offer, tell them why, and if it's a no, then it's a no. I
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. We're talking about Pokemon card vendors here. like, you know, this isn't some, high end deal. You're not
Business
buying
deal or
expensive
like,
watches or something. These are Pokemon
yeah.
cards. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't worry about it. Relax. If you do offend a vendor, that's their fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I think the fact that the Jacob's asking the question, it already kind of gives me an idea that he's probably a considerate person. The fact that he doesn't want to come off like a jerk. So you're probably not a jerk based on that. There's people way worse than you that don't care about this at all and are just rude. And um, I think you'd mentioned when you were answering that you'd said you kind of get a vibe for the person, which I think is a good point because there's some people that are dicks that are vendors, and then there's some better people that are more established or they've been doing it nice and they understand that like customer service and like building a reputation is an important thing. So talking to the person, getting a vibe for them, maybe you don't have to buy your first time. If you're going to a local show, you'll probably see a lot of the same people vending over and over. So you can, build those relationships with people by just going and talking and maybe looking. But like Oliver said, I wouldn't worry too much about, making an offer and coming off like a jerk. I mean, if you're gonna lowball, they might just like shake their head and be like, "No, get out of here." But I guess the lowballing is subjective too. I think just look for fair comps. You could also like look up your own comps. If they say they're basing something on comps, double check it and kind of say, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is all from what I've seen on YouTube and vendor POVs." Because I've never gone to a convention actually. I've been one time, very small show, but a lot of times they'll like people like the buyer and the seller will bring up comps at the same time because these cards are moving so often, especially modern cards. And they'll be like, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing." They'll say, "Okay, I'm seeing this," and they kind of compare them and come up with like a number in the middle, maybe. Um, but yeah, the fact that you're asking the question to me seems like you're a considerate person and you won't have any issue. But good question.
That's a good point, Jacob. You're probably just too nice. And I just reread the question. You're worried that they're lowballing you with an offer. So what's happening right now is lots of vendors are trading at 75 or 80% market,
Ah,
which
okay.
means they look at the market value of the card and then they're willing to pay you 75% of
Mm,
that. Um, this is such a silly concept outside of some scenarios. Sometimes it makes sense, but a lot of the time people are extending this to even like Facebook Marketplace, which is laughable. Um, I don't know what to say about that. It kind of sucks. Uh, if they're offering you like 70%, uh, just stand your ground. Say, I'll take 90 for this, or 80 for this. And if they say no, walk away. They deal with that all day long. I promise you.
yeah,
All day long, they're turning people down.
for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it in the reverse of like them selling to a vendor. Um, yeah, with the more like modern cards that are super volatile, like the Burger Chew that we talked about earlier, I think a lot of sellers or vendors are gonna offer you a lower percentage on that because of they don't want to lose money. So if it's something like that, then I could see why they would give you a 75% instead of like 90%. As like if it was something more established or that's an older card, they might be willing to pay. Like for a poncho, they might be willing to pay, 90 to 95% or something. But um, yeah, there are some people that abuse that vendor title and say, "Oh, I'm a vendor. I'm 70% is what I buy at," and they know some people are going to be like, "Oh, never mind," and then some people would just be like, "Okay, I guess that's the way it is." Like the newer people coming in, because that's the way they think it is. But that concept is so new. I feel like recently.
Yeah, a bit of a side story here, but my first time vending, I hadn't fully grasped the concept of that yet. So people were coming up and I was just trading straight across with everyone. And I was like, I was the trade table because I was doing, 100% for everything. And then I just kept doing that. I'm like,
That's fun.
I'm here to have fun. And
Yeah.
I remember some guy came up with a Charizard, and he wanted one of my Charizards, and they were both worth, like, one was worth $85, the other was worth like 93 or something. And I was like, yeah, man, let's trade. And he's like, what? Like,
What?
you 70%? And I'm like, no, I actually want that one. You want this one, so I'm down, dude. Let's just trade.
Back to the basics. Back to the old school. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Dude, it was a win-win. We both wanted the other person's Charizard. I'm not worried about $7. It was awesome.
that's so cool. Yeah, that's cool that you could still do that. That's funny that he was so thrown off.
He
He's
was
like, "What?"
shocked. Yeah. Yeah, he was, well, that's the thing, Jacob, like, he probably walked around and people are offering him, like, $50 for that Charizard, which,
Yeah.
these guys, it is a business, they are making money, but yeah, it's just, don't worry. They're turning people down all day long. People are
Yeah,
turning them down all day long.
for
They're
sure.
not gonna remember you. You can do a lap of the convention center and
Come
come back. They're not gonna even recognize you, don't worry about
yeah, come back and try again.
it. Yeah, just keep doing it.
Uh, Next question is from Blue Hunt. It's a bit of a hypothetical, fun thought experiment. We talked about this. It's kind of related to last week's episode. We had talked briefly on the one of one Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, One Ring card. And his question was, if Pokemon ever tried to make a similar one of one card, don't think they ever would, in quotations, uh, or in parentheses, what do you think? What do you guys think they would do?
I mean, Charizard,
Charizard?
probably. I mean, I don't think Pokemon wants to do this. I don't think they want to get into serialized cards. Um, but if they ever devolve to that point, yeah, they're just going to go for the Charizard, right? Or a Pikachu. They're just going to go for, let's just extract money.
Yeah, I think that's a fair answer. I've thought about this before because we kind of were talking about the one of one ring a few years ago when it came out, and I don't know if it was me or whoever I was talking to, but they brought up that like they were like it was I think it was somebody else. They're like it's so obvious they would do the master ball because like in the game you get one master ball like generally in the
That's
game.
great theory.
Um, and it would make sense, but I think your answer is probably more correct. Like they would go for the money grab, and
Mhm.
Charizard, Pikachu is what people want. But a master ball would be so cool, and like even thinking about like having that in the foreground and having like Ash in the background, like holding it away from himself, like with his head down and a little bit like silhouetted or shaded, would be I think a really cool like one of one card.
That
Uh,
was a very powerful visual. Yeah, I think
I,
that'd
I've
be
I've
really cool.
dreamt
I
about
love
this card.
that.
I
That's a
love
cool
that he
idea.
asked this question because I was like, oh, I have the answer for this. I've like thought about this before. But I think your answer is probably what they would do is like a Pikachu or Charizard, something
Unfortunately.
super hype. But yeah, there's so many different ways they could go about it. And then like that Lord of the Rings set that we talked about has not just that one of one ring. They have like a one of 100 or a one of 1,000. So they could make those cards too. You really don't think they'll do serialized cards ever?
I don't think so. Pokemon
Wow.
has been very, they've never publicly acknowledged the secondary market. They've always sort of come back to like, hey, this is a game for kids. Even if you look at, like, I know it feels like the gold cards are hard to pull. I know it feels like we have a lot of chase cards that are like really rare. But if you look at like sports, for example, like their pull rates are in another world, on a completely different level. Pokemon's always had easy pull rates compared to other TCGs.
What about the Chinese Mew card that's 151 copies? No,
That's a
1,100,
1,151.
510 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the closest we've ever been to serialized. I
It's
don't
not tech, yeah,
know.
it's not like the card is serialized, but it came with like a paper that said this is number one of
Is
like
that
one.
right? I didn't know that.
It came with a paper. It's not, but it's not attached to the card. It came in like a little box, and there was a paper. From what I saw online, who knows if it's true? But it was a picture of
Okay.
both the card and then a paper saying it was number 20 of 1,510. So it's like it's bordering that line of like they're testing it out almost to see what people would think. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, I know Pokemon Shanghai is different than Pokemon Company International or Pokemon Japan, so I don't know how that works. Pretty sure they can't just do whatever they want,
Mm,
but I imagine it was probably Pokemon Shanghai's idea. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that didn't come from like the Pokemon Company in Japan. Um,
hmm.
Maybe they approved it. I just don't feel like that aligns with their values or what we've seen. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Last question. Another fun thought experiment from the number one editor in the game, Gabe. Uh, if you could choose any expansion to get a straight up full reprint, nothing has changed. They just mass reprint the set again as it originally was. What would it be?
So the value proposition here is what set do you want to see tank on the secondary market?
That's what I was thinking.
And yeah, basically everything. I don't.
Reprint everything.
This is a tough one. I thought about it briefly, and I was like, I have to think about this more. And then I thought about it again, and I was like, I have to think about this more. So I never came to a conclusion. But yeah, I'm thinking like some obvious choices for me are like the E series. You know, Skyridge
Oh, E series or Sky. Okay.
sets that historically were very underprinted.
Okay.
You know, like Skyridge just sucks to collect. It's actually rare. Like the commons are rare. Like it's hard to find
Yeah.
Skyridge. So I'd love to see a reprint there. Or if you want to go more modern, just you know, reprint something like Prismatic. You know, help
That's what
pop
I
this
was
bubble,
thinking.
crash the market.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, at first I was like, okay, I would dream of like a vintage set, but then I think that the vintage collector in me likes the rarity of those cards, and even if I can't own them, I wouldn't want to ruin that. And I think it would ruin Pokemon almost to do that because
Mhm.
imagine printing first edition base and the Charizard like not being what it is anymore. Like people would be like, "Oh, they're going to reprint the first set ever made." And what if they do it again in 30 years or 20, 10 years? So I think that was my original thought. I thought it'd be like cool to reprint a vintage set, but then I wouldn't want to ruin the collectability or the I don't know the history behind them. And so what you had said, prismatic evolutions, I was like, oh, I would just be the hero of modern Pokemon and tank. You know, like scalpers would be furious if you know prismatic just got a massive reprint and everybody holding prismatic thinking they're gonna you know win big in 5 years is just it's worthless now. Um,
Just a proof of concept if they reprinted a vintage set, knowing that they can do that. There's lots of conspiracy theorists out there who are like, oh, they're actually printing vintage and they're drip feeding it into the market, which is asinine. But if they were to reprint a vintage set one for one, that would just, you know, prove that they can do that.
yeah.
And all of a sudden I would be highly skeptical.
Oh yeah, I would lose a lot of faith and I would probably get rid of some of my cards, honestly. Not all of them. I still would like some, but I would be like, oh, I don't really want this anymore because I like the rarity of the card. I like how it's not easily obtainable by everyone. I mean, whether that's good or bad to look at it that way, I like the exclusivity of certain products. Um, I had a thought, but I lost it. I think it's a really cool question, really fun question to think about. And I'm glad that you had thought the prismatic answer too, because I was wondering if we were going to be on the same thought process of crashing the market.
I think, yeah, if we're going to reprint a set, in Gabe's hypothetical here. Let's do something good with it. Let's, you know, be responsible with this power, and let's crash the market.
Yeah, you'd be the hero of Pokemon. Like you'd be like, oh, leave no card behind. He's their savior.
Gabe let us reprint this set.
That's funny. Good question. I like all the questions. I thought they were really good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys sending them in.
Yeah, so I think right now I'll be playing that new outro music. So reminder, let us know if you like it or not.
Hopefully we're in tempo or in beat.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the Weekly Weedle, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.